This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. This week, the latest in your pet's health care nutrition, the importance of probiotics for your pets, and cozy pet mystery author Dianne Harman is back for a visit. That's what's on our show this week. Let's get started.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva show. Here's Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves, Francesca, Coco, and our newest little diva, Miss Olive. Miss Olive is the cute little Italian Greyhound rescue in the picture with the microphone. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. Email us at doggydivashow@aol.com. That's DOGGYDIVA show@aol.com. We love hearing from you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Today's episode is sponsored by Hanover Square Press and The Secret Language of Cats: How to Understand Your Cat for a Better, Happier Relationship by Suzanne Schatz. Have you ever wondered what your cat is saying? In The Secret Language of Cats, Schatz offers a crash course in cat phonics to help you crack the cat code. Perfect for the fans of The Lion in the Living Room and the inner life of animals. The Secret Language of Cats by Suzanne Schatz is available for purchase today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva show. I'm here with Monica Leighton for our pet tip of the week, and Monica's the president of Professional Pet Sitting. Hey, Monica, with a lot of traveling that's going to be done during the holidays, a lot of pet parents, they're wondering what to do with my pets. Can you give us some tips on choosing the right pet sitter for the holidays?
Pet travel, of course, during the holiday season is huge. You always want to, book as far in advance as possible and know, what type of service you're looking for. If you want somebody to come in and, just do visits throughout the day with your pet, or if you want somebody to stay in your home, make sure that you really get that on the books early. And some tips when you are calling around, looking for pricing, looking for questions to ask to make sure you pick that right pet sitter. It's super important. So a couple helpful hints. One, always make sure your pet sitter is licensed, bonded, insured. If they're certified, that's even better. Make sure that they know, pet first aid certification. A lot of the national pet sitting associations, they actually have a pet sitter certification that they can take courses in pet care and become a certified pet sitting company. So that's something that, if you're looking and interviewing multiple people, that's one thing that can, maybe set one apart from the others, that they've taken that, additional certification. Another thing that I always tell clients on is, check the read on your pets too. There's, a lot of great people, out there available. It doesn't mean that, one pet sitter isn't great, but your pets may tend to feel more comfortable with, somebody versus another person, and not that they wouldn't have done a wonderful job, but, you want your pet to be, as comfortable as possible. So when you have a couple people come out and interview them, see, who your pet tends to go to more. And that's also, a good sign of showing less anxiety in your pet when they're traveling. The one good thing about pet sitting is that they're in their home. They're comfortable in the space that they're used to. So the only new added change is getting used to a new person. And if they're feeling comfortable with that person from the beginning, then that makes that transition so much easier. Once you get a pet sitter, it's great to have them, even just come by on a regular basis every couple months, check in, things of that nature. So your pet's still used to them. Even if you just, go out for dinner one night, maybe have them come by and walk the dogs, something easy just so they kind of still have that, relationship so the pet's not alarmed when somebody new is coming in. Another thing that I personally am really big on is, for example, our pet sitters, when they come to the house, I do not want any signage on any of my staff's vehicles. That's one thing that, in the industry, there's a lot of differing opinions when it comes to car and vehicle signage. I tend to go the safe route. To me, if you have somebody pulling up with XYZ pet sitting all over their car, whether it's just for a midday walk or a 2-week trip, you're still alerting possible, thieves or burglars that somebody's not home. They've also had cases to where, pet sitters have themselves been attacked, with burglars trying to get into the home because they know they're going into an empty household. There's nobody there to help them. So that's kind of happened in the past. And this time of the year, when you have Christmas presents, a lot of valuables, theft rates unfortunately go up. So anything that draws attention to your home, I definitely discourage. Making sure that your pet sitter is alternating lights in different rooms each night. Opening blinds in the morning, closing them in the evenings, simple things just to deter people and also make your home look lived in. But those are all, really, simple, easy tips just to, kind of think about when you are interviewing, and also ask them, for worst case scenarios, what would happen if they were to become ill? Do they have a backup? Anything can happen at any point. The chances of it are probably slim, but if somebody becomes sick or they're in a car accident or something like that, you just want to make sure that they have some contingency plan in place. Larger companies have multiple sitters so they can get somebody in there. But if it's a single sitter company, making sure that they do have a backup of some sort, maybe a spouse or, somebody that they've worked with that covers their clients if something were to happen. But there are just some questions to ask to make sure, when you are interviewing, that you are covering all your bases.
Well, I thank you very much, because this definitely gives the pet parents peace of mind. And you're right. It's very important to do some of the safety things you were talking about too for the home, because ultimately it protects the pet and the house itself. So I thank you very much. These are invaluable tips, and safe travels, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Hello, everyone. Miss Olive and Sophia the Doggy Diva want to thank you for your amazing response to their special book, Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home. And they want to let you know that Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home is now available in both hardcover and softcover. And that's at Amazon.com. As Miss Olive says, woohoo, yippee! Thank you, everyone. Coming up, does your dog have occasional tummy issues? We have the answer. Stay tuned.
DGP is an all-natural formula proven to help aging pets with joint and mobility problems. It goes to work quickly, providing vital nutrients to the joints while reversing the effects of age. Some people see results in as little as 7 days. Don't let your dog struggle another day. Call 800-521-0543 or visit dgpforpets.com and enter the code DOGGY, that's DOGGY, for 25% off your first order and free shipping.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. As pet parents, we are always concerned about our little doggy's digestive tracts and with the issues that go on there. Well, you know what? We may just have an answer. We have with us today Kim Gaebelein, Senior Marketing Director at Bil-Jac Foods, and she's going to be here to tell us maybe a few things we could do to kind of help us with our doggies' digestive issues. I want to welcome you, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on to talk about our dog's tummies.
And you know the obsession. Because once something goes wrong with your doggy's tummy, your whole day's thrown off.
Oh, yes. We're worried about what comes up from it, what comes out of the back end of it.
What comes out, absolutely.
A whole obsession for all of us.
Exactly. So, and especially, us going into the holidays, we want to make sure our pet's healthy and happy, and then we're healthy and happy. What should pet owners, like pet parents such as myself and our listeners out there, what should they be paying attention to for their little fur friend's doggy digestion health?
Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, the digestive tract is obviously very important to your dog and to your dog's health. And, there are kind of, 4 basic important functions of that gastrointestinal tract, right? And those include, of course, eating, chewing, taking in food, and being able to swallow it, being able to break down that food after they've already eaten it. And then once they break it down, being able to absorb those nutrients and get the benefit and the nutrition out of the food. And then, of course, to, keep moving all the rest of the waste out of the system. So those are kind of like the 4, basic things that happen with your dog's gastrointestinal tract. And, as you said, all of us obsess over it. We're worried about it. We're always watching it. It's one of the signs, right? It's one of the big signs about how is your dog doing. And so, it's good to watch out for signs, right? What are signs that might be that your dog is having, maybe more gastrointestinal issues, right? So it could be things like gas and bloating. It could be, vomiting, being able to spit up the things that they've eaten. It could be maybe they're not having like regular or solid, bowel movements, or maybe they're not having them as frequently as they should. And it also could be a loss of appetite, right? So, if you're seeing some of these things, obviously it's important to talk to your vet about them. But, if you're seeing some minor changes, right, that's when you also might be thinking, what are other things I can do, right? How can I really kind of help my dog and help them have a healthy digestive tract?
Well, do you have any suggestions? Because I know there are things out there that we could do to help our dog's digestion. I know that you guys have something that's pretty simple, which is what I use, which is what helps me keep kind of things under control in our house with the digestion thing.
Yeah, I think, there's still been so much talk about probiotics, and probiotics have really, over the last, I'd say 8 to 10 years have really kind of come to the forefront as something that can be very beneficial, right? And probiotics are basically, they're essentially good bacteria, right? They're live organisms and yeast that are helpful for digestion. And so, your immune system and your dog's immune system, one of the biggest areas where the immune system is in the intestines, right? So that's one, and that's not like the kind of thing I think of, right? That's not the first place you might think of where your immune system might be and how it fights off the kinds of things your body takes in. And so the digestive tract is a very important part of that whole immune system. And so what we've been hearing more and more about probiotics is, how they can help support that healthy digestion and that immune function. And so, and basically, you just need to keep a healthy level of them in the gut, in the large and small intestines, in the intestines. And that's really what helps to be able to keep your dog healthy from a healthy digestive system. It's one of the things that's important.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about the BreakThru Biotics?
Yeah, so it's been, I guess we've been researching it. It was over 8 years ago that we really started on this product, and it's been out now for probably about 3 years, and it's called BreakThru Biotics. And it's really, what's great about it is we wanted to really find an easy, simple way to be able to give your dog probiotics. There's a lot of powders out there. There's sometimes it's supposed to be in food, and so probiotics, they kind of need a very specific medium to live in, right? To be able to like make it all the way to the digestive tract. And so it's really important to be able to put them kind of in the right kind of place to be able to help them survive and be effective. And so one of the things that we did is we created this spray, actually, that's a spray, and it has 12 different healthy strains of probiotics. And all you have to do is just spray it on the food. You could do it once a day, or you could do it each time you feed them. And we really try to make it really, what I love about it is that it's great tasting. So it's always easy for me to do it. My dog loves it. I've been feeding it to him when we were actually working on it, and he loves the taste of it. And so it makes it really easy for people to do. And I don't know how you do it, but I know that that's how we, kind of how we look at it and how we use it.
Oh no, absolutely. Because I had before I started using yours, what I was using was a powder, and I couldn't get them to eat it. I couldn't get them to, they just walk away from the food. I tried hiding it in treats. They still wouldn't eat it. So when you came out with yours, and it's also so easy to store and take care of. I mean, so I just have to pull it out and I just squirt it on, and they love it. It's like they're getting what they need to get, but it's like they're like going, "You're not trying to slip me something, huh?" They don't even know. It's like an enhancement. So, and for me, right. I don't have to measure out the powder. And you know how I am. It's all about convenience for the pet parent so that I don't stress out. And this keeps me kind of stressed for doing this. And I also know that I'm doing something good for my dogs. So, because as we talk about when my husband, between the two of us, when we take them out in the morning, the first thing we ask each other is, how was their poop? Did they have a good, so we know what kind of day we're going to have based on what our dogs, we call it what their deposit. So, but that's why this helps a lot. And sometimes you're like changing their foods around a little, or you might be changing treats around a little bit. And this helps that too. This helps like kind of stabilize their tummy a little bit, at least in my case with my guys.
Yeah. Well, and it has to be win-win, right? We understand that, we want it to be good for your dog, but we also want it to be easy for us to use, right? We want everyone who wants to use it to be able to use it easily. It's nice. I just keep mine right next to my food. Yeah, that's and so it's right on the counter. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. So then I can just spray it on so I remember, right? Because if it's not near the food, then I don't always remember.
And that's why I like it too. Yeah.
Yes. What I get a lot of feedback on, and what we love to hear is that, people can just spray it in their dog's bowl, and their dog will just lick up the bowl. Like that's how much they usually like the taste of it. So again, it's a win-win when we can create something that's very healthy and helps, helps support the digestive tract. It has probiotics to help. It has probiotics to help support their digestive tract, and it also has those probiotics to help support their immune function. So, and it tastes really great. So it's a win-win. We love it when that can happen.
We love a win-win. Tell us about the Bil-Jac food. How does that benefit us as pet parents for healthy food choices for our pets?
Yeah, you can come out and find out about Bil-Jac out on our website. We have food. So we have dry food, we have wet food, we have treats, and there's a lot of information there where you can, find out a little bit more about what's different about us, right? About how we slow cook our food, how we, I know, like for example, in our Adult Select formula, we use 25 pounds of fresh chicken to make a 30-pound bag of our dog food. So you can learn more about the special care we take to make that food special for your dog.
And you also have all kinds of treats. Of course, my lure of choice is the Little Jacks, because my girls just love them. And I always keep like a bag in my bag. I have like a little tote bag that I carry around for them and it's a perfect size for them. So, because I have 3 little dogs, and they're mushy so that I could kind of crunch it up for Olive. So they're perfect. And, but you have other choices too for treats.
Yeah, we have, besides the Little Jacks, which are great for training and great for little dogs, we also have our original recipe treats, which are like a little bit bigger version of our Little Jacks that are great for bigger dogs. We have PB Nanas and Yap Nanas, so we have some fun flavors, so that you can give your dog something different. It's always great to get their attention, get them excited, but also then to reward them with something that they're excited and happy to eat and is healthy for them. And then we also have breakfast Jacks and even dessert Jacks, which are pumpkin flavored. So we have a lot of different options to be able to get them. And, some of them, like you said, are small, like our pumpkin Jacks, the dessert Jacks Jacks. Pumpkin flavored are small also, like the Little Jacks.
Yeah, they're the
Our
perfect
grain-free
size.
are
They're just
small.
like and that's like our treat. That's like a treat for them.
Yes, and they're great to be, like you said, be able to, if you need to break them up, if you're doing some regular training, like, over and over again, it's great to be able to break them up so you're not giving them too many calories. But, those small ones that we have are about 3 calories or less per treat. So, you also can feel like you're giving them a treat and you're not having to, really cut back. You can still give them something that they can get a great taste out of that is not a whole lot of calories for them.
That's perfect. And that's great for my kids because I got to keep them, especially Olive. I got to keep her weight down because she hops around on those 3 legs and I got to keep her balanced so she doesn't get a little heavy. That's why these are perfect. Yeah, they're perfect size. So where can the listeners now go to learn more about the BreakThru Biotics, which is something that I use every day, and I know you use every day, Kim, with your doggy, and we use it with my girls, and of course the food and the treats. Where can everyone go to learn more about that, and also where to get them?
Yeah, our website at Bil-Jac.com, it's BIL-JAC.com, is a great place to start. And, I know that, from time to time we have an offer, like maybe a coupon that you can sign up for. I know in December, this month, we're going to be doing that on biotics specifically. So if you sign up for the Best Friends Club on there, you can actually get an additional coupon on biotics in addition to either your dry or treat coupon. And then we have lots of information on the website. So there's a dog blog. You can go out to the dog blog and type in biotics or probiotics and be able to look at, information about that. Or maybe there's something else that you're interested in with your dog. We really try to put some articles out on the blog and make it like just a big resource, right, for us for things that may come up where you may be looking for answers and looking for some information because, we all care about our dogs so much. We're really looking to be able to help people have some of that information right at their fingertips.
Absolutely. And of course, I tell everyone always that I love your newsletter and it's something that I look forward to. And I was especially happy this month, and I have to thank you and thank Bil-Jac very much because Miss Olive's book was featured as one of your books for the gifts.
Yes, we were so excited to be able to feature that, and so we love being able to do that. We had a story on books that dog lovers would love, and we love Miss Olive's book, and so we really wanted to feature it. And we know a lot of other people will too. I mean, it's got a great message in it, and it's there to do a lot of good. And so we really felt like it was a great opportunity to be able to do that. But there's again, it's so nice to be able to feature things, right, and help pet owners discover great information and great books like yours to be able to share that information with other people and other book owners, other dog owners who love to read and would really appreciate a book like Miss Olive's book.
Oh, thank you. We were so thrilled. I was so happy when I saw it. I was going, Olive, look, and she knows. She's like going, yay, Bil-Jac. So, well, Kim, as always, you brought us some great information, and please, everyone go to Bil-Jac.com. That's BIL-JAC. And you can find out everything that we talked about today and even more because they have a whole plethora of information there for you. So thank you very much, Kim. And I'm sure we're going to talk to you soon.
Thank you. You too.
Coming up, a best-selling cozy mystery author has another must-read. Stay tuned.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico-Chops with Omega-6, Omega-3, Vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Doggy Diva Show. You know how Miss Olive and I love to cuddle up and read cozy mysteries, and even better, cozy mysteries that have dogs in them and yummy recipes. Well, today we're going to welcome back to the Doggy Diva Show one of our favorite authors, and I have always referred to her as the Queen of Cozy Mysteries. We have with us today best-selling and award-winning author Dianne Harman. Welcome back, Dianne. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here, and I loved the book you sent me. I can't thank you enough. I gave it to my granddaughter, who at the time was in the hospital, and she was thrilled with it. So it's a charming, charming book, and I loved it. My thanks again. Give everybody the name of it, because it's worth getting for Christmas.
It's Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home. And
it's just adorable.
I'm so happy that you liked it. And it means so much that your granddaughter liked it too. I know that you had told me that she really enjoyed it in the hospital, and that made Olive and I feel good, because that's the kind of, it's a book that touches your heart. And I'm so glad that it worked that way.
It did. And she is a complete dog person. I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you, for the last 2 birthdays, she had parties, but instead of asking people to bring gifts, she asked them to bring things for the dog humane shelter.
She's my kind of girl.
And I can't believe people spent, I think, 10 times more on that than they would have on a gift. So it was kind of fun.
I love her. Yes, she's my kind of girl. Well, she's the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So,
well, yeah, we're a dog family. That's for sure.
You definitely are. And now, for people who are not familiar with you, I love having you as a guest on our show, because I love your books. Number one, I already have the next one pre-ordered. It's like whenever they pop up in my Kindle, I get so excited. And you have such a diverse and interesting background. Can you just tell the listeners who may not be familiar with you about that?
Sure. I started out my career after I was married as an antique and art appraiser, and I did that for a number of years and traveled all over the United States. I worked for the IRS and some banks and attorneys, and I had about, 140 people that were experts in various areas, because no one can be an expert in every area. So I did that, but I became somewhat disenchanted by people defining themselves by their stuff. I remember one time I had put price of insurance replacement cost of about $1.2 million on a home furnishings, and the woman was furious because the market I'd put her in was auction, and she said I would only buy on Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles. I said, well, I can make a case for that, but it's going to cost you more in your insurance. She said, that's not a problem. What would I tell my friends? So we went in at $1.7 million.
Oh, wow.
So I just became disenchanted. And then I started a couple of yoga studios. I'd been doing yoga for a long time, and owned a couple of yoga studios. And then about that time, 10 years into it, my husband became very involved in politics and was elected to the California legislature and became a senator. So I figured seeing his wife on some poster standing on her head would not be appropriate. So I stopped that, got rid of the studios, and became a political wife. And the day that he retired, I started my first book. And he said, you helped me for so many years. Tell you what, you write, and I'll take care of the house. And I said, you're on. So here we are.
Wow. Now that's a true marriage made in heaven.
Well, I'm lucky. I have no idea. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, to see the senator doing laundry is rather, I'm sure some of his constituents would have, never pictured that.
Or they'd appreciate him all the more.
There you go. You probably ought to run again.
With all of the stuff that you had, I mean, you had such a great life, and I know that you travel a lot, and there's so much that you do, and you do have such interesting friends. Where do you get the inspiration for your books? Because number one, how many books do you have out there now? I mean, I have so many of them. So
I think I've got about 35 or 40.
Wow.
And I write fast when I write, and I can do a rough draft in a week, depending. But I can get inspiration from anything. Often it'll just be a blurb. In fact, the newest book I have, Murder in the Cayman Islands, I was reading, maybe I shouldn't go into this because I'm going to give away the end of it, but something that just sparked an idea in the paper about a drone. I thought, isn't that interesting? And that was the next thing for a book. The one that came out recently, Wine Country Killer, my husband just mentioned one time in passing, you've never written a book about a serial killer. Why don't you try it? So it can come from anywhere. It's just, I have no idea.
Well, but I like that you have no idea, because your books always take the reader, we always go to these very colorful, I always learn about something.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Caymans just came out, and the wine country was just before that. But I learned so much about wine, and there's like different things that you learn about. And then the Caymans, there's, you have all kinds of things going on there. But there are also two different series. One's the Northwest series, and the other one's with Kelly and Mike and Rebel. So, there's a whole different series, which I want to get to too, because your main characters, this is one of the reasons I love your book, are dogs. I feel I know the family, and I'm very close to Kelly and Mike. I just want you to know that. But, of course, they don't know that they're close to me, but I'm close to them. And of course, Rebel. But
I'll tell them.
Yeah, tell them, please do. I relate to them, I guess is what I'm saying. But what inspired you to have, because you have dogs as main characters and recurring characters in your books. I love it.
Well, because I love dogs. We've always had dogs. At times 3, at times 1. Our children have dogs. We're just simply, dogs are a part of our life, as simple as that. So my characters, that had to be part of their lives too. And the cooking's the same way. I love to cook. We've entertained forever, and that's part of it too. And I know, to me, it kind of all goes together. If you like a cozy mystery, you like food, you like dogs, and that's pretty much the basis of it. The first book that I wrote, Blue Coyote Motel, was a suspense novel, and I didn't do the dogs or the food, and I really was unfamiliar with the cozy mystery genre, and I happened to pick up a book that was a cozy mystery with dogs and food, and I thought, that sounds much more fun to me to write than trying to do some deep, dark,
the psychological thrillers.
Thriller.
But you do just so I could clarify for the listeners, you do have some psychological thrillers, and you do have different characters that you have out now, which are the Slade. There's Blue Dot, and I have them
right.
all.
I always liked Slade a lot. But,
he's cool.
I just thought it was, but I prefer the cozy mysteries. To me, they're more fun, and I just like the people in them a little better. I think they're more real.
Yeah, I relate to them. I love all of your series, though, but the one that I kind of relate to the most of is like Kelly and Mike Rebel. But I got to ask you something. The book that we were talking about earlier, the Wine Country Killer. Can you just Wine Country Killer? What? It was a serial killer. You've never done a serial killer in any of your books. And I know that you were saying that your husband said, are you going to do one? And it was in a cozy mystery format, which I was very impressed with. But, you had me guess until the end. What inspired you to do that?
Good. Well, I just had never done it for one thing. And the wine, my daughter-in-law, I may have mentioned, is a wine, not a connoisseur. She teaches on wine. She has a blog on wine. Oh. She has been accredited with about everything you can be, even one of the few people in the United States who has passed the French exam. So she is so knowledgeable, and she's always kind of talking about this, and she is a member of a very exclusive society where they wear the robes and when they, induct them in and everything, and that kind of fit in with it. And Broadmoor, some of the action takes place there in Colorado. I've been there, and I thought it was just a fantastic place. And Sonoma, I love Sonoma. I think it's fun. It kind of fit together. I wish I could say I'd had a plan for it. I didn't. It just kind of happened, and I have no idea why.
But it all came together, and it worked out perfect. And I'm so happy because I benefited from your daughter's knowledge in the book, because I learned, you go into the different wines, you go into like a beautiful venue that they had, and the thing with the capes, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that existed. And that's something that is kind of unique to your books too, because you do go into with the different books that you do and under the different series, there's like a lot of things that you talk about, probably because you've experienced a lot of them or traveled to these places. I was going to ask if you ever were at the Broadmoor, because it's so
Yes.
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. And
I love to learn.
Yeah.
I love to learn and I love to travel. So there is a book, the one that I just finished the rough draft yesterday. There is a little bit of action that takes place in Cave Creek, Arizona. And my family, we took our family over for a vacation to a hotel over there that's in Cave Creek outside of Phoenix. And so that just was part of it because that was kind of an interesting area. And usually from any of my travels, I'll pick up a couple of things I can put in a book.
Now, is your Cayman Island book based on a visit to the Cayman Islands?
Yes, and that's coming out actually Tuesday. And, that whole Caribbean island area, Cuba, I haven't been to other ones there, but it's just, well, you're in Florida. It's kind of a little bit like Florida, but it's a different culture. And so I was trying to capture a little bit of that. And of course, we have to have dogs in it. Red comes back, the Doberman Pinscher, naturally.
Oh, I love it. And he's beautiful on the cover. And your dogs are always so beautiful on the cover, by the way.
Well, thank you. I just want people to know this book has dogs in it, so be prepared.
And of course, it has recipes, because I have to tell you, when I'm sitting there reading the books, and I'm usually like Olive and I are like cuddled up, I have like a cup of tea, I'm reading my books, and I like listen to these meals that are so, I go, oh my gosh, I hope they're at the end of the book. So I have to rush to the end of the book and go, oh, good, that's there. So, because they're like mouthwatering. They're so good. And I have to ask one question. Make them for your family. I mean, have all of these recipes been tested on your family or your husband?
Oh, absolutely. It hasn't. In fact, in the Cayman Islands, I have conch fritter, a recipe for conch fritter. We'll try to get conch on the West Coast. Forget it. So I had to order it on the internet. And I'd had conch fritters when we were down in the Keys, and I loved them. So I thought it would fit in perfect with the Caymans because I know that they have conch there. So I paid a bloody fortune to order it and made the conch fritters. But yes, they were tested. Everything is tested. I have found when I'm using recipes that I get from somewhere else and I'm making the recipe, often there is an ingredient they've left out or it's the wrong. I think it was in the conch fritters, in the recipe I found, it called for a quarter of a cup of flour. Well, I deep fat fry these things, and the recipe, it was so thin there was no way. But I did try it, and I thought, okay, put in 2, they ran all over the pan. So we're putting in another cup of flour, and it worked fine. But and otherwise, I'd put it out there and somebody'd say, oh, that was horrible.
Well, during the course of time, my husband's benefited from some of the recipes that I've made that I found in the back of your book, and he loves them. So he thanks you. So, and that's
My
why
pleasure.
I tell everyone the book's about, there's always dogs in them. The characters are in each of the series are very endearing, and they actually become like your friends. It's like you want to see what comes up from next. And some of them are a little more colorful than others, but I have to tell you that I love reading your books, and that's why I love having you on. And I feel that during the holidays, if somebody wants to give a great gift, or if you want to order it on Amazon and get it loaded onto somebody's Kindle, I got to tell you, Diane's got the best. She's got a large selection. They're the perfect length. They have the great characterizations, and of course, you got my fave, the dogs, and you got yummy recipes. So, like,
Thank you.
I love it. Where can the listeners go to learn about you? And also to learn about all of your books.
They're on my website, and that's www.Dianne, Dianne, Harman, HARMAN.com. And you can go there, or just go to Amazon, Dianne Harman, put that in, and it'll go to my Amazon page. And that will have my books and about me. So love you to join my newsletter. I send out a newsletter on Sundays, and that always has And every week I try to put at least one book on a special, either 99 cent or free, and tell the readers other places they can go to get books that are on sale or enter giveaways. And then I also put my upcoming books on there. So that's another way.
Well, and that's, I love your newsletter. Of course, I'm on it. And that's when I preload my Kindle because, this is coming up. Okay, let's go. I want to wake up in the morning and see it on that day when it comes.
Thank you. Well, Tuesday morning it'll be in your mailbox. So there you go with Murder in the Cayman Islands.
I've never been to the Caymans, but I have to tell you, when I finish your books, I always feel like I've been there. And this is what I believe reading's about. And since I was a little girl, my entire life's been around books. I was lucky enough to have been brought up in a home where books and music and art were like something that was, sacred, very, it was encouraged.
You were lucky.
Yeah, very. I had a very creative foundation. And in my adult years, I love, my go-to thing is books. And I love to be able to read a book that, it's a perfect length. You have things that interest me that it's like I'm being taken to, whether it be the Caymans or these gorgeous resorts. And it's always nice to know, because I know that you've been there. You're speaking from, that what's going on, what the scenery's about, and I actually feel like I'm there. And plus that, there's always a dog around, so I always feel like, okay, I could be here. But
well, thank you. That's exactly what I hope to do with my books, is have people feel that they're being transported to a place. I'm the same way. When I read a book, I don't want to read about Huntington Beach where I live. I know that.
Yes.
Take me somewhere else.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, and I'm at the stage now, thankfully, that I don't feel I have to finish every book I start. If I start one that just doesn't work for me, I put it down and get another one, because there's so many wonderful books out there. And it's just fun when you start one and you go, oh, wow, I like characters. This is interesting. And it's just a wonderful feeling. It still excites me. I love it. Well, and I'm always curious, what's more interesting, the characters, the plot, the setting? Is it a combination?
It's a combination because it gives it. And I have to tell you something, Dianne. My listeners must love you. I'm so glad that I've had you on, and maybe some of them weren't as familiar with cozy mysteries, but there's cozy mysteries that that have pets in them, and of course these yummy recipes. Recently, because we're on Pet Life Radio, I know that a bunch of you were on our show, and it aired on Pet Life Radio, and you contacted me and said that what a great day that was for your book. So I'm so happy that my listeners are now a part of your cozy mystery world, because it means so much to me, because I love bringing you on. I love having you talk about where, you get your muse, where you get your information from. And my listeners love the fact that you talk about dogs, you talk about recipes and these wonderful, interesting places. I love the psychological thrillers, but you know what? I love going to the cozy, because I know that I'm going to finish it in a good amount of time. I know I'm going to walk away feeling good. And when I read your books, I also feel like I'm walking away from places I may not have been, but I feel like I've been there. And I've made friends with your characters, so I look forward to what they're doing next. So congratulations, and you're just phenomenal. And guess what? I believe in 2019 I'm going to be having you back on again, because we're going to be talking about more books.
Oh, I would love to. And it was ironic, after our last interview, I started noticing my numbers that day, and they kept getting better and better. And I'm thinking, and my son happened to pop. I said, What are you so excited about? I said, Mike, something is going on. I don't know what. This is really unusual. So I thank all of your listeners and you for having me on, because it was a wonderful day, and I really appreciate people are excited about it. So it's my passion, obviously.
Oh, yeah, and it comes through, and we love having you on, and I'm telling you, I tell my listeners this whenever you're on. I preload my Kindle. I wait. I love it. And Olive and I just sit there and read through the book, and I'm so happy. And like with the serial killer one, I might not have figured it out right away because you do have great twists and turns there. But I'm telling you, it all comes together and you go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? It is so good. And you're very talented, and thank you for sharing that with all of us, because I know that my listeners now have someone that they could go to, the go-to book. Everybody's going to sign up for the newsletter because you're going to know when you can get them for 99 cents. You're going to know when you can get them for free. And you're going to know when you pre-order them, they're a little less than when they go up. So there's a whole thing that you have going on there. Let's just give out that information so that people could go hop onto your website to sign up for that newsletter.
It's www.Dianne, D-I-A-N-N-E, Harman, Harman.com. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you also do get a couple of free books.
You do?
So a couple of free cozies.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dianne, as always, I love your writing. As always, I thank you for coming on our show, coming back on, and I thank you for sharing such wonderful information with the listeners and with myself and with Miss Olive here. And I'm so glad that your granddaughter's doing better, and I wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you, and to you, and thanks again for having me on, and to all your listeners, Merry Christmas. I guess it's that time of year to say it.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you very much, and we'll be back in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Miss Olive and Sophia, the Doggy Diva, are so happy that their first book in the Doggy Diva Diary series, Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home, is now available at online book retailers. So please visit Miss Olive and Sophia at www.thedoggydiva.com. That's DOGGYDIVA to order your copy now. And they hope that you love reading Miss Olive Finds Her Forever Home as much as they loved writing it. Thank you. We would like to thank our guests this week. And also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally. And please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of The Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.